All right, this is the second largest underground economy. I'm talking about human trafficking. And here in San Diego County alone, it's estimated that $810 million in this business are made every year. I mean, that number is staggering. In fact, as many as 8,000 residents in this region will become victims of human trafficking every year. Here now to talk more about this issue is Brian Zumbano from the San Diego Foundation and Susan Johnson from the Alabaster Jar Project. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Hi, welcome. Susan, right off the bat, first of all, bottom line it for me. Where are we really as far as, those statistics, they sound absolutely startling.
Yes, we're the 8th largest area in the United States with the issue of child sexual exploitation of minors. So it's the commercial sexual exploitation of minors. The average age of entry into a life of sex trafficking here in San Diego is actually 15 and a half. This was documented through a study that was performed by our very own PLNU as well as USD professors, and it was funded by the Department of Justice. The numbers are staggering. There are a lot of women out there and men, boys that have been victimized by this crime, and there's not enough resources.
And one of the myths is that people think these are kids, young people being brought over the border. We're talking about San Diegans.
Yes, over 90% of the victims are actually U.S. citizens here from San Diego, locals, runaways, foster care youth. There's a whole gamut that are just right here in our own backyards.
And you work with some of these kids, some of these survivors at the Alabaster Jar Project. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the Alabaster Jar Project is a long-term residential program as well as a resource center that provides tangible needs, peer support, food, clothing, toiletries, financial literacy, life skills, budgeting, all of the basic necessities that somebody would need and healing modalities of coming out of that victimization.
How are you able to afford something like that? Where's your funding come from?
It comes largely from grants, from private donations, and a lot of fundraising.
And that's where Brian comes into play, because you are a part of a foundation that just made a big donation to the Alabaster Jar Project. Talk to me about that.
Yes, so we at the San Diego Foundation are always looking for what are the issues that really matter in San Diego and how are we able to address them. And we have a supporting organization called the San Diego Women's Foundation. Every year they select a topic to really focus on and provide granting for. So last year it was human trafficking, and as you know, it's a crisis in our community, and the Women's Foundation went out. They received proposals, they did site visits, and one of the proposals was Alabaster Jar Project. And we at the San Diego Foundation were thrilled to provide our own support and really amplify the impact of what the Women's Foundation were doing to address the issue.
Clearly you see a need here. You hear these numbers, and you're a part of this amazing group of people. Really, what touched your heart and said, you know what, we really need to go full throttle and give these folks some funding so they can make the difference they want to?
It's just that. It's a crisis that not a lot of San Diegans know. You said the statistics before. It surprises people every time, at least when I mention it to them. So that was the great thing about what the Women's Foundation does, and what we can do at the San Diego Foundation is partner with great nonprofits like Alabaster Jar and find out what's being done. How can philanthropy support the nonprofits really making an impact?
What are you hoping that your funds will do? What kind of impact?
Well, we were thrilled that it provides capacity building and actual staffing. We appreciate at the San Diego Foundation some of the hardest dollars to raise are for capacity building, for overhead, as some people call it. But it's critically important that nonprofits addressing issues have the staff and the expertise and the resources available to really make an impact on what they're trying to solve.
Yeah, because Susan, you're talking about people that are isolated. They are told they don't matter. They are told their families aren't going to take them back because of what they've done. And so you really have to have that 360 coverage for these folks.
Yes, and what's also important about this grant is that not only is it providing the needed staff, but that staff is also peers. So the staff members that we've been able to bring on due to this grant are actually survivors themselves. The impact of that is double, because not only is it impacting the women in our program that can see somebody overcome, get back on their feet, become self-sufficient now in a position of leadership, but it also impacts that leader. It gives them some financial sustainability and empowerment.
Well, you've got all the information on our website if you want to get in touch, support, become a part of whatever the need may be. I'd really love to extend an invitation to any one of those survivors who would like to come and talk with us about how they overcame, because one person that gets impacted, one person that hears, and one person that gets out, that's a step in the right direction. Brian, Susan, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you.